You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. And we're going to be firstly talking live in the studio to Tim, the Animal Control Officer for Swale Borough Council. Tim, as always, it's great to have you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. It's nice to be back up here.
So I think we're going to firstly cover about the stray dog service, Tim, and how that's going.
It's something that we're very, very proud of. The stray dog service, all local authorities do have a statutory responsibility to deal with stray dogs. And I've said this many times before, but since 2008, it is a sole responsibility. The police aren't involved in stray dogs at all now. So that's fine in hours, between 9 and 5, but out of hours, what happens? And we have an out-of-hours service that runs from 5 in the evening until 9 in the evening, and all day Saturday and Sunday, so 9 till 9. Including bank holidays, the only 2 days actually we don't do the service are Christmas Day, 3 days, Christmas Day, Boxing Day and Easter Sunday. Now, we're proud of the service, and it's all very well us shouting about it and saying how wonderful we are, but if that needs to be monitored by sort of an independent outside organisation. And 5 years ago, we applied to the RSPCA for their Gold Footprint Award, which is the top award for the service. And very luckily and very happily, on the first time that we went for it, we achieved the gold standard. And we have achieved that every year since, including this last year. We found out a few weeks ago that again we had achieved the gold standard of the service. And that's something that makes us again very proud, because the stray dog service isn't just about the person picking the dog up, it's about the whole infrastructure we have in place. It's about our kennels. It's about, in particular, our customer service centre. We have an excellent customer service centre, if you like, call centre. That's the main part where people phone into the council. And they do a lot of hard work for us before we even get the calls through. We've set up a system where they're able to monitor what dogs are missing and what dogs have been found. And they will often marry up an owner and a found dog before it even gets to us, and that's a crucial part of the service. But we've got a good team with us. There's 5 of us that run the out of hours service over a 5-week rotation. Of course, myself during the day, Daniel Bacon covers for me when I'm not around, and Jeff Payne helps out as well. So it's a good tight service, and we're very proud of it.
Now, I noticed, Tim, that there's a lot of activity on Facebook regarding stray dogs. I know this is something you wanted to cover as well.
Well, it is, because Facebook, love it or hate it, is a very, very powerful tool. And what we noticed was that there was a lot of activity on Facebook, people saying, I found a dog, and pictures being posted. And it just seemed to make sense to try to harness the power of Facebook. The challenge was really, how do we do that with a Borough Council standalone Facebook page, officers out there in the field when we're picking up the dogs. And it was recommended actually that we tried our Instagram app that we have on our phones. And that's just been fantastic, because just for example, I go out and pick up a stray dog, take a photograph of it, I upload it straight away to Instagram with all the details. That is then shared at the same time with our Twitter account and our Facebook account. That then gets out into the public domain. People will know what dogs we're picking up. And just as an example, today I had a call from a vets in Faversham that somebody handed in a Border Terrier dog. Went down there was no microchip, lovely little dog, took a photograph of it, put it on our Facebook page, and within an hour the owner had phoned us up to say, you've got my dog, I've seen it on Facebook. So it's a really positive thing. It has had huge benefits, and it's something I think where we have to thank the community who do share the posts that we put on Facebook. They share them on local sites like the Gossip Board in Sitting Board and Sheppey, and Facebay and various other pages like that. And it really helps. It spreads virally throughout the whole Facebook network. So a big thank you to everyone that does assist us on that. And just have a look at the Swale Borough Council main Facebook page, and you can keep tabs on what stray dogs we're dealing with at the time.
Tim, microchipping of dogs is to become compulsory in 2016. Do you see this as a good thing?
Generally, I do. Microchipping is really, really important, and it is the key to us getting dogs back home to their owners as quickly as possible. And that's always the fundamental part of our service. When we pick up a stray dog, our aim is to reunite it with the owner as soon as we possibly can. Microchipping is very, very simple. It's just a little microchip that goes into the loose skin at the back of the sort of shoulders of the dog. Not particularly painful, and it's there for life. So it's a permanent identification of that animal. And you're quite right, in 2016 it is going to become a part of the whole legal thing, so you'll have to have it done. But for my opinion, really, on this, it's only a good thing as long as people bother to keep the microchip details up to date. One of the big challenges we face is we pick a dog up, happily find that it's microchipped, but the details are out of date, and possibly 2 or 3 owners ago, people move address, they forget to update them. So what I really want to see within the legislation is it being compulsory to update details as well. Much in the same way as if you sell a car, you're still responsible for that car until the DVLA have changed it over to the new person. So if you don't update DVLA and they get a speeding ticket, that's down to the previous owner. And I think the same really should apply, and hopefully it will do with this new legislation, so that if you pass a dog on or you buy it or whatever, the details have to be current on the microchip. Having said that, it's still a great thing, and it's still better than nothing, and it's relatively cheap. There is no excuse for it, and it's something I want to speak about in a minute, but it's all part of responsible dog ownership.
So, Tim, we're fast approaching Christmas, so do puppies make good presents?
Yeah, it's the whole puppies and a dog is for life, not just for Christmas, and that's a great catch line, and it's been going for years, but it's very true. And I think the answer to that is no, they don't. If you're going to add a puppy to your family and take on that responsibility, it needs to have a lot of real serious thought amongst the whole family. Can you cope with having effectively another mouth to feed? Can you cope with the problems that dog will cause, because there are problems associated with it, and it's a commitment for anywhere between 12, 18 years. So think about it. Puppies are fantastic things, of course they are. You get a nice little American Bulldog puppy, it's the cutest, cuddliest thing, but within a few months it will grow into a very big, still lovely, but very big dog that needs an awful lot of looking after. And I was looking at this the other day and found a few statistics about it, and the average spend, if you want to buy a dog, it's going to cost you on average £1,183 to actually own that dog. That's for things across the board, including food, vet treatment, if you go on holiday, kennels. That's not even including the cost of the dog. So it's a big investment. Over the course of the average life of a dog, that amounts to £19,763. So yes, you might be able to buy a dog from a guy down the pub for 30 quid, and that seems great, but you're committing yourself to almost £20,000 worth of cost for that dog over its life. Now, not only that, but you put food in one end of a dog, guess what comes out the other end? And we all know what that is, and I'm sorry to put people off their tea if they're having it at the moment. But again, per dog, the average dog will produce around about 2.4 kilos of waste a week. And that has an ongoing problem of what on earth do you do with it, how do you dispose of it? And we then move on to the dog fouling problem, which is always sort of top of everyone's priority. And again, a little statistic that I found out, if in an average sort of park area there were 100 dog walkers per day and they all failed to clear up their dog mess, that equates to 23.8 kilos of dog waste per day, which is 167 kilos per week. And that's an awful lot of dog waste that somebody has to clear up. So a dog is a huge responsibility. If you're thinking about getting a dog, fantastic, but think very, very seriously about it, and just make sure that you can sort of mould it into your lifestyle, and also mould yourself into the dog's lifestyle, because to be a good dog owner, you have to understand dog, not make the dog understand you.
Tim, is there an increase in dog fouling reports now that the evenings are getting darker?
Yes, there is actually, Daniel, and strangely you'd think it would be the reverse, but statistically it does show that we do get more complaints about dog fouling in the winter months. And I think this is really down to the fact that the evenings are darker, the mornings are darker, and there's an element of people who probably think because no one can see them, why should they bother to clear up after their dog? And my feeling is it just isn't fair. They wouldn't like it if I took my dog and allowed it to foul in their garden and walked away and didn't clear it up. So why are they letting that happen in the community where I live? You know, I was born in Swale, I was born in Sheppey. I'm a Swampy, very proud of it, and I'm very proud of this island in particular. Obviously, the whole of the Swale that we cover. But I'm a Sheppey person. It's steeped in history. It's a great place to live, and you know, let's just work together to keep it clean. And if you own a dog, then it's your responsibility to make sure that dog doesn't contaminate the area. And this stuff, and I'm not going to go into it anymore now because I've done all the figures and everything else, but it's nasty stuff. So if your dog does foul in the area, it's your responsibility to clear it up. If there isn't a bin available, then do what we do and take it home and put it in your wheelie bin. Interestingly, and not everyone's aware of this, but if there isn't a dog waste bin, it's quite appropriate now, as long as it's bagged up, to put it into any litter bin, which is a great benefit because there's far more litter bins than there are dog bins. But to me, it's just common sense, and I think if you allow your dog to foul and you don't clear up after it, then that is it's just almost a whole snub against everybody else in the community, because why should they be or have to put up with you just being lazy and not looking after your dog?
So how is Swale Borough Council dealing with the problem, Tim?
And again, how do we? Because we are few and they are many, if you like. Having said that, and again, statistics do show this, the people that cause problems with their dogs, and look, you know, trust me, it's not the dog's fault. It is down to the owners. It's actually quite small, in fact. I reckon around about 5% maybe of dog walkers cause that problem. Now, again, back to what I was saying earlier, if 100 people use an area, it only takes 5 of them not to clear up after their dog to have a big problem there. So what we really try and do is work with the communities, because you know you live there, and so we need feedback from you as to what the situation is like in your area. Let us know, give us information, times of day, types of dog, what the walker looks like, and we can then target our limited resources to that. Last year we ran a campaign in the sort of autumn winter period called Bag It, Bin It, Win It. And what that was about really was turning the whole thing of us being out giving fixed penalty notice fines to people that don't clear up their dog. We turned that upside down, and we're out and about giving sort of rewards to people that do the right thing. And we're launching this later on in the month. So myself, our environment wardens, police community support officers, KCC wardens, if they witness somebody who is doing the right thing and clearing up after their dog, they'll give them a little card to enter a draw, and there'll be various prizes, sort of local Faversham, Sittingbourne and Sheppey prizes, and then an overall one. Just as a thank you really for helping keep the borough sort of a nice place.
Tim, before you go, I was just hoping you could cover out, of course, anything else you'd like to, and of course go over those useful contact details as well.
Yeah, that's quite important, Daniel, because again, if you're talking about stray dogs, if you find a dog, then what do you do with it? You phone the council, and the number to use for that, if it's daytime office hours, would be 01795 417 850. That's our main customer service number, 01795 417 850. If, however, it's out of hours, so that's between 5 and 9 in the evenings or 9 and 9 at weekends, the out of hours number is 07795 237 479. That's 07795 237 479. And of course that daytime number, the 417850, that's also the main number to phone in if you have concerns about dog fouling or other issues related to that.
Tim, as always, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along this evening and updating us and covering those areas.
Thank you, Daniel.
That is Tim Oxley, the Animal Control Officer, Swale Borough Council. As always, useful links on our website in the Clubs and Societies group, and information about our guests that we're interviewing on the blog, Facebook, Twitter and Google Plus by simply searching Daniel Monday Night Community Show on BRFM.